Painting with Menoth John is presented in Super Legitivision. Super Legitivision, the future of podcasting. It's .com.
Hello, I'm
Menoth John.
and I'd like to welcome you. First of all, let me take just a moment to thank you for allowing me back into your homes. If this is your first time with us, let me extend a personal invitation for you to drag out your
miniatures
and paint along with us each week. Let's go over to the canvas here and let's get started. I believe, every day's a good day when you paint. I believe, it'll bring a lot of good thoughts to your heart. I believe, every day's a good day when you paint. I believe, it'll bring a lot of good thoughts to your heart. Let's build a happy little cloud. Let's build some happy little trees. There are no limits here. You start out by believing here. You can almost paint with anything. All you have to do is practice.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, all you have to do is practice. Practice makes perfect, and perfect is something that we will never achieve on this show. Ladies and gentlemen, you have tuned in to your Wednesday night addiction. We are back and better than ever. It is Wednesday night, and that means it is all right for you to get out your painting brushes. That's these. Get out your favorite model. That's him. And paint along with Menoth John. Of course, I am Menoth John. You know me from such hit shows as The Velocipaster, Jesus Christ, Vampire Hunter, and Ants on a Plane. With me, as usual, is the wind beneath my wing, the best in the business, the co-host with the most, Mr. John Spencer.
Hey-o.
Hey, how's it up there in the catbird seat tonight, buddy?
Doing okay.
Doing okay. You know what? These are strange and difficult times, John. I think you summed it up in our pre-show discussion. We call it a discussion here. It's not really a pre-ramble anymore because we got this shit down. Then, boy, probably the stream just ended because I said that. But there's a certain amount of existential dread right now. There is a certain amount of existential dread that each and every one of us are dealing with, and we're hope that here on the Wednesday night extravaganza that we are here to lighten your day.
And the worst part is I'm not feeling existential dread for myself. I'm still working. Everything's good. I'm thinking of all the people who are getting laid off and don't have health insurance in this time.
These are dark times for those people. This is dark times for people. You know, in many countries, they have health care that you just get your shit fixed because we decided that we were going to be a society, and they decided that people just shouldn't fucking die because they don't have enough bank in their pocket, and that's not us. You know, maybe someday. Maybe someday. Maybe. I hope that we come around someday and decide that 1% of the population shouldn't have 99% of the toys, but today's not that day, and the guy that had that in mind dropped out of the race. So that dream is at least delayed a little bit longer. Anyway, but John, I think you bring up a good point and probably a good place for us to start with our show toast. I'm drinking sangria tonight. Okay, we're just going to get that off the table right away. As a part of trying to help some of the local businesses here in the greater Racine area survive, Belinda Librarian and I have been getting food from some of the different places as takeout, and one of the places is Old Madrid. It's a Spanish restaurant that serves tapas, and so they are also offering sangria. And I was like, well, fuck yeah, we can get some sangria. That'd be awesome. And they said it'd be $20, and I was like, wow, that's a lot of money for sangria, but you know, okay. I mean, it's an alcoholic beverage. Gotcha. Maybe it's a big tumbler. No, it's not a big tumbler. It's a gallon fucking jug.
Holy shit.
It is $20 is this full, brand new bottle, and a cup this big of fruit to put with it.
Oh, wow. I mean, they're going all in there.
That's a deal. And
I just saw the corner of the overlay.
What's that? Yeah, there you go.
I just saw the corner of the overlay.
Yep.
You mentioned it. I forgot about it, and then I saw it.
Yep. Right there, baby. Look out. Look out. What the hell? What's his name? Matlock. The Velocipaster's coming for you. So,
Oh.
Velocipaster is not happening this Saturday because I can't figure out how to make this fucking thing work without an echo right now. And Rich and I have tried twice, and we're not completely discouraged, but we're getting a little discouraged. So we're still working on it. More to come on that. But the Velocipaster, we're going into Easter this weekend. So, the man of the claws says, you better watch out. You better be nice because Jesus Christ is coming to town. So I'm pretty sure that's not heretical, right? I mean, can't be that bad.
I mean, I'm already going to hell. I know this.
Yeah,
It's okay.
We're going to hell in a handbasket, folks. So I'm having the sangria. And what are you having this evening, Mr. John?
I got Kraken with some Dr. Pepper.
Oh, that's a classic
'Cause I'm
combination.
out of orange juice.
Yeah. Well, a lot of I got bubble gum and orange juice, and I'm all out of orange juice.
Yep.
So, to those people who are facing some very tough times right now due to the COVID, and by the way, fuck COVID. On behalf of the Painting with Manoff John show, hey Ron.
Ron. I don't know how a sealed 20-ounce plastic bottle of this was already flat, but well, it is.
Seems like a manufacturer's defect.
Yeah, well, that's what it is.
So, we got an exciting show for you, folks. We are going to be doing some painting. We're going to be doing some talking. We're going to be doing some talking about painting. We're going to be doing some painting about talking. We're going to be doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that. We got some media section coming to you in that last 30 minutes of the show, folks. We're going to sell you the whole show, but you're only going to need the edge. So, who is an expert at keeping people 6 feet? Ron. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Hey,
Absolutely.
Ron. Yep, you're a little close. Teleport. Oh my God, he would be the perfect warcaster in a COVID Iron Kingdoms.
Him or maybe Exelon Thexus.
Ah, that guy. He was one of the frickin' what the hell are they called?
Cephalix.
Yeah, Cephalix. There you go. Boy, it's been that long. I can't even pull a faction out of my head anymore. Coronavirus is a little like Lord of the Feast. Just stay 6 feet apart and you'll be okay. There you go.
That's true.
Yep. Now I'm going to turn on. So, folks, when you see that overhead light go on, that means we're close to painting. That means that that's not the Velocipaster shining down upon me, His grace. That's not happening.
That's more of a painting sign.
That's like painting sign. So, so you guys remember, we are putting out. If you go to the Painting with Manoff John Facebook site, the kids these days are kind of turning their backs on the Facebook. I've heard.
Yeah, it's a lot of Twitter now. They go to Twitters, the TikToks, and the
Instagrams.
Instagrams.
Yeah, and
I prefer Golden Grams, but Instagrams.
Fucking
okay.
Golden Grams are goddamn delicious. But folks, the flippity bloops are a thing, and I'm going to try to do my very level best to get posts out more than an hour and a half ahead of the show. Work has been absolutely fucking crazy, and so
You're not just this one Dixie there. Holy, I don't know how it is. I have two of my people at home, and everything's supposed to be slowed down, and I am busy AF at work.
Yeah, it's just crazy talk. I had a meeting up until 6 o'clock tonight, and it could have probably gone a little bit longer, but my boss knew I had a podcast coming. Bless his heart. Good man. And but we made some decisions. We talked. I provided data, and I call that a good meeting.
Absolutely.
Yep. So went about 4 minutes on Twitter earlier before I realized that reality is a conspiracy and every government wants to kill everyone to keep people alive and the economy safe or killed off. Yeah, you're not wrong, Nevendar. Hey, Wookie.
So Crimson, funny story about that is while my boss knows I have this podcast, he does not know how to find this podcast.
Yeah.
But he actually listens weekly to my other podcast.
So it's a funny story. I mean, John, you might have heard me talk about one of my former coworkers of a last name Bradham, and who used to be my counterpart at Starbucks. and she's no longer with the company. But her husband now has a show on YouTube called John Bradham, Jon space Bradham Paints. It is the spiritual successor to literally the joy of painting.
Well,
He's got a demeanor that is just as calm and soothing, and it's literally how he was in real life too. This guy could tell you about a roaster starting on fire, and you'd be like, "Oh, that sounds so good. That sounds so soothing." He's not with the company anymore either, but he's a terrific guy and a hell of a painter, and he paints landscapes and things like that are not that far off from Bob. So if you want to give that a try, folks, John Bradham, Bradham Paints on the YouTubes. Give it a shot. He's a good guy, real good guy, solid citizen. All right, folks. Before we get too far into painting the Bokur, I want to. I told a fellow brushhead that he sent me a picture of, and I'm going to put it up here on the painting cam. If I can hit the button properly, there we go. Of the Primal Archon, and he was asking for some tips on how to punch it up. And because the question he had was basically because it's a model that is it's wood, it's rock, and it's moss. It's literally three things. Okay? And there's a little bit of, I don't know what this is. This is a mold or a fungus of some variety on the back. And he sent me a picture of it, and he was asking, it's just a little blah. And he was asking for some tips on maybe how to punch it up a little bit. And so I've got a few thoughts on it. And the first thing I would say to him is that on a model like this, where there really is a lot of detail, but if you don't treat the highlights and the shadows as hard as possible, it can get very easy to lose a lot of that detail. So if you notice here, and I'm going to use a paintbrush to point out, if you look at the contrast in the lightest lights and the darkest darks, there is a fair amount of difference between the two, such that you can actually, it really makes it feel like it's bigger than it really is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you want on a model like this. You really want it to be a little bit more on the cartoony side, I think.
Yeah, you want to stop just short of the GW extreme edge highlighting.
Yes, and I think that's kind of what I've done here.
Yeah.
The first step that I did with it, of course, is I did a zenithal prime, and then I did a lot of glazes and things like that. But even after I did that, there's no wash on this model. What I did was I was using a base brown color, which I think was a shit if I know, probably Blood Tracker brown, I would guess. And then I would use my paint blending chart that PP put out to do some darkness in there. Hey, Crimson. Let's see. For rocks and rock golem type dudes, don't leave them gray. Use either dry pigments or various colored washes to bring in some hints of color and add visual interest, because gray is boring as fuck. I don't disagree.
But with all the other stuff going on, you can do some warm browns and lots of green stuff. The gray is actually a good neutral, so it doesn't detract or make it too busy also. That's another thing to keep in mind. And
the thing I do with my rocks to make them less boring is I always tend to come back with a frostbite on the gray. So I'll take that base gray, and then because the frostbite brings a little blue to the party, I think that it helps to kind of highlight it a little bit better and give it a little bit more visual interest. The other thing I would say is, make sure that you're getting those highlights even on the moss. What I did here was I painted it with a darker green kind of base color, and then I used a light, and there was a thin color. It was actually a paint that was made for airbrushing, and then on top of that, I did some dry brushes of a lighter green, and then finally a dry brush of a very bright yellow that was also very, very transparent as well. And then you get huge color, much like our president would say. You get really big contrasts in there, and once again, that drives that feeling of scale for the model. The other thing I did too for the fungus in the back here, I took a little bog moss and I added some browns to it for the shadows, and I brought up the color for the highlights again. Lots of two brush blending going on in here, and then the other question he had on it was, should he go ahead and put glow in some of these? And glow is really, really, you got to be careful with it, because if you put too much of it, it's very easy for it to get kind of out of control and to be not what you want it to be. But what I did on here was I did use almost like a necrotite green, and I thinned it, and I put it in the middle of the eye socket, and then I just pulled it out with a wet brush, just doing a little bit of two brush blending kind of, just to kind of get the highlights of the where the flatness is around the eye. And then also I used a wash in the mouth so that it took the black or the very, very dark color that I had in the mouth and just gave it a little tint to it, because it shouldn't be super glowy. And then the teeth, I put a little bit of glow on them as well, but that's about it. I mean, you want to use it sparingly. What I liked about what it did for me is I think it drew a little bit of attention to the eyes, which otherwise might be lost a little bit. And it was a very, very similar color profile to the mosses. And I wanted to pull that all together.
Yeah, and since it's in the center of the model, it doesn't have any chance of detracting and drawing your eye away. Yep. I find a lot of people like to put something bright on like the edge or something, and sometimes that'll draw your eyes away from the main model, and that's not really your goal.
Yep.
It's not always a huge problem, depending on what you're looking for.
And I'm holding the model up here a little bit so people can get sort of an idea of what I did with that eye. I felt like this model turned out pretty well. The other thing is to kind of keep in mind is that the base is very important. Bases if you do a nice job on a base, you can really, really transform the way your model otherwise looks.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is a very simple, I paint the base with some random swampy colors and give it some swirls and some things to make it look like it's a disturbed, muddy, mucky kind of a thing. Then I poured some water effects in there. I put some little tufts from Army Painter, those little tufts that they sell.
Mm-hmm.
And boom, you got yourself a based model that is very visually appealing. So those are the tips I've got. And Crimson, I appreciate your input on there. You're a hell of a painter too, and I appreciate your input.
Well, that's the best thing on painting is there's some people who know so much. You can get a ton of ideas from them, and you don't have to take them all because everyone approaches it from a different idea. Like I generally am looking for, quicker hacks. I'll take some time if I want it to look real good, but I'm not always looking for that.
Yep.
Like,
is Bubba 54 Bubba King of the North?
It might be.
Because if that is, we have to do correct heritage and correct respects. All right, so we're gonna get painting here, and thanks, by the way, Nevendar and Crimson. Thank you very much for your comments in the comment section here. Really appreciate it. We're gonna get going on this guy now. Like I said, this is the Bokur. Don't make me call you.
Yeah, I think that's Bubba.
Yep. So the Bokur has had all of his colors blocked out, and now what I'm going to be doing is, and I put washes on them. So now what the key is to bring up the colors a little bit because the washes darken things, and that's where we're going to really kind of get back some of the vibrance of the model. So that's going to be our goal for tonight, is to start doing this, and we're going to start with the little bit of armor plating on the back. Now, his armor plating is Crick's Bane highlight, and I got to take a quick look at my. Hey, thanks, man. It's good to be back. We've been doing this now for what, about 2-3 months now?
Yeah, 2-3 months. I mean, for straight, we've been doing it about 2 months.
Yeah,
but on and off for a while.
Yeah. Let's see. I got to see Crick's Bane highlight. I wonder what's next up the line from that. So let's take a look. Thrall flesh, you say? Okay, so thrall flesh. I think I have.
Out of that.
I think I got some thrall flesh in here. There it is. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to start off with a 50-50 mix of thrall flesh and Crixbane highlight. The reason I like to do that is I find like if I go straight to the highlight color, it's a little jarring.
Yep. Sometimes it can be. Sometimes that's what you want. Depends on the overall look you're going for. Like that cartoony style, if you're looking for that, go for the jarring. But if you want something a little more, and I think for the Gators, having a little more less jarring or a little less jarring would be a good idea.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kovnik Scotty Potty back in attendance.
Yeah, he's back from his social media hiatus, he said.
That's fantastic. We're happy to have you back, Scotty. JohnCon 2020. I was just had a chat with the Mournival today. As you look at the projections for the COVID, it looks like April's going to be the worst month. And that means that as we're projecting JohnCon for late August or mid-September, it seems to be a pretty good bet right now. Assuming we don't get a major second wave.
Yeah, well, hopefully people are all practicing their social distancing and doing everything they can to flatten the curve. It's important.
Yep, for sure. Better be flattening that curve or I'll be flattening your ass. All right, so let's get this one here. That's the best I could come up with in short.
No, it's fine.
All right,
I'm gonna tell you, John. I'm painting probably the model I was most worried about from the beginning of this.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
That's
the spider part. Holy moly!
so.
Yikes.
Yeah, that's a model right there. Spider-Man.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna do that black lining. We're gonna have to probably pull out some tricks for that one.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So this is intricate work. Ishkabibble. I'm not sure how I like how this is turning out. Let's put a little love in there.
Well, I will say, John, that when I was painting for a while, like I posted at one point that I wasn't really a fan of how my crossbones was turning out. And I'm like, it's okay. You're painting, dozen models. It's okay if one is just merely okay. But it turned out okay.
Oh,
a lot of backing up and punting, but he turned out okay.
Trying to figure out how to get this to. This is a trick. Some colors blend better than others, and I'm trying to get this to blend decent.
Yeah, you could always use a wash to blend it afterwards, but that's not always gonna do what you want. Yeah. It'll blend it, but it might not do the rest of what you want.
Yeah, what the problem is that sometimes some of the lighter colors dry really fast, and that doesn't necessarily bode well for blending.
That's what we officially call no bueno.
No, that's seriously no bueno.
Ugh. All right, let's see.
All right.
Where's my other color for brick? Where's my other brick color?
A brick color?
Oh, I've got ones I use. Is that it? There it is. Okay, cool. GW's got these sort of reddish browns I use. Doom Bull Brown and then Tuscarora Fur and then wash over it. There, and I'm not sure how well they're going to show up on camera, but...
Okay, no, that's cool. I see them.
Okay.
Yep.
Just make sure. Into my giant pile of paints here.
So the thing when I'm detailing that I always kind of think about when I'm doing this is that you got to take your time. This is the huge investment of time for what apparently is at first seems like not a lot of payoff, but this is where the devil's in the details here, folks. You gotta.
Mm.
This is where this is your moneymaker for your models. And this guy's spine, kind of he's got terrible posture. He's not going to have a good spine column for long, but that's okay. His average lifespan on the table is not terribly long either. Let's be honest.
Well, I mean, honestly, for a gator, I think he's got pretty good posture.
You know what he does have for a gator in general. He's kind of killing it. Actually, I'm partial to how this is turning out now that I'm getting a little bit further into it. You just gotta give it the love, man. You gotta show the brush that you're invested.
Well, and keep going, because you never know something's going to look till it's done. And if you've got to back up and punt, unless it looks really horrible, you might as well just wait till you're done, see how it looks, and go, nah, that's not for me.
See, there
What else I can do?
There it is right there. Just kind of seeing where it's headed. And what I need to do is, along with the highlighting, I need to come back and give it some shadow. And when I do that, it's going to help blend into the light a little bit, and it'll kind of calm it down a little bit.
No, I remember what I forgot to do.
What's that?
I usually put a layer of really dark Rhinoxide on the bricks first to get in the cracks, so it's not just black in the cracks. Yep.
Just gonna walk right away from that.
Oh, I mean, indeed. I mean, I popped it up there. You're not gonna spike it on me? Come on, man.
You know what? Sometimes a little black in the crack is what you need, man.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So I'm going to have to go and actually just do it the hard way.
This is thrilling television, me touching up all these little...
I mean, they're here for painting, John. It's painting. That is...
You're not wrong.
I would say we're pretty much doing what it says on the tin.
Jesus, is that what they're here for? Christ. I can
Well,
point to entire episodes.
Nonsense.
I can point to entire episodes where we've let them down.
Yeah, but the nonsense is better then.
You got that right.
We try and give you a little bit of both.
Brush paint.
This is our escape from like John said earlier, the existential dread of existence right now.
It's a little rough these days. Can't.
Yeah. Just we can all keep it together by backing each other up and helping out wherever we can.
Yep.
Not having breakdowns in public.
If this gives you if this gives you 90 minutes of something other than the situation to focus on, then by God, we've done good work.
Yep.
Absolutely. I am not upset about this. This is turning out okay.
Everything will be okay. All right. Which one's small enough? That one should be thin enough. So now, since I messed up and didn't do what I needed to do first, I'm going to paint the Rhinoxide into the crevices here. There's no way to make that sound anything other than horrible.
No. We're just gonna move along. So I gotta look and see what is the shade color for Crick's. I bet you it's Crick's Paint Base, which I bet you I don't own. Nope, there it is, Crick's Paint Base. Holy shitballs! I have a lot of paint.
Well, me too, but sometimes you don't know a color, and you know what you do then?
Improvise.
Yep, you mix that bitch.
Yep.
I do that with Zemo. I didn't have you didn't have a right color of purple I wanted to use for him, so I'm like, well, Kathy Wapple would be very upset if I didn't at least try and make something. So let me try and make something.
Yep. I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of this on there.
Oh, that's actually
a dark color.
That did not come out terribly.
Now we're going to take a little bit of that, and we're going to mix in the base color, which was the Crixbane highlight. We'll do that up here. Mix a little bit of this dark in there. Someday I should put the camera on the wet palette so people can see what I'm doing for when I'm mixing colors. I bet you people would like that.
Oh yeah, I mean that's That's like next level. Next level. Look, I think we're all just happy you're not painting an entire colossal with a brush.
Oh my God, the salad days.
I'm excited to go for full call back there.
Yeah, that was a thing. Never to be done again.
I mean, I paint everything with just a brush, but I'm crazy like that. Though I do tend to try an airbrush eventually. It's going to take some time to get it set up. Oh yeah, that's not bad. I mean, hell, I don't know. Oh, let's see if you guys. I got this. You guys can't see behind me because of the camera view, but I cleared out my giant transformer because I got a flight stand for him. So he wants to stand there in robot mode. He can actually be a jet and on a flight stand.
Nice.
Very cool. If anyone asks, everyone needs a flight stand for something, just hit me up. I'll point you to this gentleman. But John, I painted all this guy, and he's not done, of course. But
Wow.
I painted all by brush.
That looks fantastic, man.
Yeah, it's cool.
Night models are cool.
Yeah, that's the main reason why I play 40K. I mean, I don't really. I play 40K. I mean, own 40K models. I don't really play 40K. Right now, I don't think anyone plays much anything, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unless it's online.
I loaded Vassal onto my computer.
Oh snap! It's all tabletop simulator now, or something.
Yeah. I tried to buy that, and Steam didn't let me.
Really? Well, Steam needs to get itself get its head out of its ass then.
I've heard good things about it.
Steam or tabletop simulator?
Tabletop.
Okay. Just checking. Never said he might be brush painting a Warhound Titan. I assume you mean a Forge World one because if it's one of the ones for Adeptus Titanicus, that's not too bad. I really wanted to get models for Adeptus Titanicus, but no one plays locally, and GW managed to actually price me out. I'm impressed. Not even upset. I'm just like I'm actually impressed.
Those models are pricey. That game is pricey.
Yeah, but I mean it's almost the definition though of that super niche. We know our intended audience, and they don't care.
Yep.
That's fine. You got to know that. I mean, it's just for all parts of the hobby. There are people. And yeah, Nevinar said, "Oh yes," which means I'm sure it is a full-size Warhound. By hand, that's a thing. Because that's even bigger than that guy. So that will be impressive to see, Nevinar. Yeah, the Adeptus Titanicus Titans are gorgeous. And he wishes it was an Adeptus Titanicus wants to scale one. Yeah, well. But there's something about like a giant scale model, like something GW learned that not every company learns. There's something about a giant motherfucking model on a table. You're just like, oh yeah.
Yep.
Or if you want to go to the song version, oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Bonk bonk. There we go. All right. So,
John, have you ever heard the history of that band?
Yaz.
Yes.
Oh wait, that was
There's Yellow, I think the name
Yellow.
of the band.
Yeah, no, I have not.
Oh gosh. So there's a guy on YouTube named Todd in the Shadows who does a lot of stuff on music. And he does One Hit Wonderland about one hit wonders.
Okay.
And he did one on them, and that band is actually legitimately interesting.
Really?
Yes. I mean, the one guy's like a freaking millionaire, industrialist and shit.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
And like, it's just weird when you hear this song and it's like one of their more mainstream songs. It's still weird as fuck. So I suggest checking that out. I listen to a little bit of stuff here or there. I like a lot of musical stuff. I like to hear about stuff like that.
I watched an hour and a half documentary about ZZ Top.
ZZ Top is awesome.
It was very interesting. No, they I'm impressed with them. They kind of have their shit together.
Oh yeah.
After a lot of years of not having their shit together, or at least Frank Beard.
And they are actually really well regarded, it seems, in the music community.
It does.
They get a lot of mentions. They get a lot of little shout outs and show up on videos. And I'm glad the bands are still making videos. Being part of the hardcore MTV generation, that's sort of my thing.
So now what I'm doing here is I'm just using a little bit of that of the thrall flesh because I used the jackbone, and I mixed the jackbone with a little bit of the greenish primer that I used for the dead fish guys that we're gonna get back to, and it
Oh,
pulls. Go ahead.
I was saying, Tal Kazar showed up, said, "Hey, did I miss the question answer?"
Yep, did it right off the get-go, buddy. You gotta if you don't get here for the first 15 seconds, boom, you could miss everything.
But I'll tell you what, Tal Kazar, we recorded the whole thing just for you.
Yep, it's gonna be on the YouTubes not long after this show ends. Long story short, it was some brilliant shit, I have to say. No.
I agree. I thought it was very good content.
But now we're painting stuff and talking about things. I don't even know what we're talking about, but it's fine.
Random stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about yellow, not
Yep.
the color of the band.
Yeah. We could talk about the color yellow now. Fuck that color.
Only if you're painting it. I mean, no, if you're painting it, there's an answer to painting yellow. John, you know what that answer is, right?
Yeah, you paint it with a solid color underneath it, like moldy ochre, and then you come back with
God.
yellow.
Goddamn right.
Moldy ochre is your key to the yellows. Okay, so we got that. Now, we're going to continue just giving these guys a little bit of love. Just to kind of give them some interest.
Oh, that actually looks really not bad.
I'm real happy with his back spines. Nice. Oh, that looks really good. That looks really good.
I mean, there's lots of washes and stuff to come on, of course, the metallic part, but the bricks are really, really popping for me. I like them.
So here's a little bit of a problem that I have. The hair that I chose for this particular one of the skulls has hair on it, and there's just not enough color difference between the skull and the hair. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back, and we're going to try a little something, John, that you had mentioned earlier. You had talked about using contrast paints as mega washes.
Indeed, I did.
And I've got me a bottle here of Agaros Dunes or Snakebite Leather.
Oh, so let me tell you, snakebite leather was always really watery and always used at least in my little dojo as a more as a wash than anything else. I could never get it to cover well base, but so good over stuff. Hi, Kathy.
Oh, hey, Kath. So Kathy votes Snakebite Leather, so that's what we're going to do.
I mean, of course she does.
All right, so we're going to go, and this hair is we're gonna treat this like we would. We're just gonna stain it.
And John, you need to make sure that when you shake those up, that all the sediment is done from the bottom, right?
Yeah, let me double check to make sure because it looked like I gotten everything out of the bottom.
They tend to it'll definitely can sit there. They're one of those ones I definitely put a
bottle in there.
Ball bearing in, yeah. When I get there, I do a lot of paints.
Okay, that's all I'm gonna do with it. I've mixed it as hard as I'm gonna. So let's
Boom.
put this thing
That's
down.
Good.
And we're gonna put this on here. And we're just gonna come over this hair and give it a little bit of love. And I think that's already helping a lot.
Oh yeah.
I'm getting a lot more contrast now.
Kathy said all she heard was something snakebite leather.
That's fine.
I mean, there you go. That's.
It appears you were right, Kathy. Because that's how you roll. Kathy, I hope you're well. I hope your husband's well. Surviving down there in Plague, Illinois.
Yeah. Well, I mean, any place that's got that many people in close proximity is potentially no bueno.
Yep. I like your governor. He's got a lot of chutzpah.
We're seeing the measure of a lot of men right now, aren't we?
Yep. You're seeing who's a coward, and you're seeing who's got chutzpah. And I'm always in for chutzpah.
Yep. My governor, he's okay. He's fine.
Damn, do I like that?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Man, I tell you, as like that Uber wash, it is so good a lot of times.
Yeah, I really like. Good choice, Good choice there, guys. GW paints are bad, and you're right. And people who use them are bad people. However, people who use GW washes are good people making good choices.
Yeah, I agree, Captain Exciting Buddy. Regardless of political affiliation, some real leadership on the play, both sides.
Yeah, honestly, good and bad leadership. You see it on both sides.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, we could talk about your governor, but let's not.
My governor, he tried, kind of.
Yeah, kind of.
It was not his fault. It is the fault of the fucking legislature that took him to court, and then pushed it to the Supreme Court, and I blame it all on one person named Robin Vos. Robin Vos is the Speaker of the Representatives House in our state, and he is Satan. The Velocipaster needs to get him.
All right.
But I think Tony Evers may not be the greatest governor we've ever had, but I think he's trying.
I mean,
And
yeah, fair.
he's trash. Oh, Robin Vos. Yeah, Robin Vos is trash. There's no two ways about it. I know that's what he meant. Now, so I've got the whites kind of where I want them on the skulls. And I need to actually, I see right now I need to probably put a little bit of a dab of the lighter color on these bones just to kind of highlight them up a little bit.
A dab? You can't see, but I just dabbed there because I'm stupid.
Oh, snap.
You know me. I'm totally hip to what those kids are down with.
You're hip with what they're doing there, with all their jiving these days. The kids.
Well, yes, stewardess. I speak jive. Sorry.
That was a fine airplane moment.
And not what you expect. I want to watch Airplane with some really young people and see how many jokes I have to explain.
Yep.
Spoiler, probably all of them. Except for Robert Stack beating up all the people. No, even Robert Stack beating people at the airport. You'd be like, what the heck's going on? Like, back in the day, never mind.
Yep.
Maybe it's not worth it. But maybe Charlton Heston and his wife, when this is all over and we do movie night, that'd probably be one of the ones for movie night.
There we go. So we got a little bit of love there on the bones. And so I think what we're going to do now. Oh, you know what we got to do is we got to catch up these teeth a little bit. But we're going to do that with a different brush. We got to get the bone. We got to get the teeth on the Bokur a little bit happier. Stop calling me Shirley.
Oh, it's still one of the greatest comedies ever. I don't care what those youngins say. I don't know.
It's funny. I suggested it to Belinda that we watch that movie, and she was like, "Oh, I just saw it." I said, "With who? I haven't seen it in a long time."
That's a movie I would love for them to just put back in the theater for one of its anniversaries. I would fucking go.
Yep.
I love watching classic movies in the theater. Like, it's just cool. I saw Alien when it got re-released. When it got its anniversary, I saw The Wrath of Khan, Young Frankenstein. Young Frankenstein was especially good, and it's one of the ones you maybe not think it would be as good.
Yep.
But Mel Brooks had this great long intro to it that was really cool. And then, of course, the movie's really good on top of that.
Yep. Oh, Mel Brooks. The movies he made that could never be made again.
And most of them?
Most of them.
I mean, I would be really shocked.
The world could never tolerate Blazing Saddles ever again.
No, it couldn't. I think the closest one he made that could be made again would be Spaceballs. What would be the point?
Yeah, exactly. I think you're right.
And we already got the two best parodies of sci-fis ever with Spaceballs and Galaxy Quest.
Yep. So I'm going to paint this guy's eyes. If I could see your eyes, if you could see, I make your eyes. You make your brain. I'm going to do them kind of a milky blue, like a frostbite blue.
That should be creepy as fuck. I like that.
Yep. All right, so now, but before I get to that part, so he's got his teeth, he's got this. I probably need to start thinking about his body a little bit and seeing how far I want to push some of the greens and stuff like that, because he's got the green on his skin is a little blah, but I need to gotta be a little careful. It's the color I used is swamp ground. It's an airbrush paint, so there's no easy mixing chart for it. It's a Minotaur airbrush paint. So what I got to do then is kind of take a look and see what is it like. It's like a lighter version of Crixbane base, which would tell me then what I probably need to do is at first is maybe do a quick dry brush with the original color and then highlight from there.
So, kind of exciting, buddy. No, I have not reviewed Sonic yet. Before it could make it into the cheap theater, we sort of had this COVID thing hit, and so not Brushhead Dave and I did not get a chance to see it, though it was on our list after relatively positive reviews.
Yeah, I just saw that for rent on the PlayStation Store. I mean, I'll wait till something not the PlayStation Store has it.
Yeah, wait till it's. I'm sure that seems like prime, well, pun intended, Amazon Prime material or Netflix material.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I'm definitely on my list to watch as soon as I get done with 2 seasons of Star Trek Discovery and all of the Star Wars.
Yeah.
It'll probably be a good palate cleanser in between all that because there's so much sci-fi going on. And of course, John, I'm finishing the book I'm reading, which is, of course, a BattleTech book. So, I mean, it's more sci-fi.
There you go.
Is all sci-fi all the time.
I like sci-fi.
And not, you figure that'd be like Overload, but it hasn't been Overload yet because they're all really different.
Well, we're going to be talking today on the media section. I'm going to be discussing a new series on Amazon Prime called Tales from the Loop, which is very sci-fi.
It is also sci-fi.
And
Kathy's interested in that.
I'm a fan of the artwork that spawned it, and the books that spawned it. So I think I'm really looking forward to it. Now, when I did that almost, I think I need to get this Crixbane highlight going here now, and mix it in here, and that's gonna be the next level of highlights, I think. Yeah, that's the one based on the Simon Stahlhag. I can't pronounce it, but yeah, that guy. It's spoilers. It's fun. I like it.
That's what we all need right now, isn't it?
Yep.
More fun.
Oh, that's really gray. Gotta add more green to it. It's not gonna look right.
All right. More base. And base.
This is a toughie. So now I'm going to take this in here, and let's see about what this is going to be for color.
Decide. Oh, crap. Touch-ups. Darn it. Oh, double touch-ups. Wow, I'm terrible. Who taught me how to use a brush? Because apparently I had to fuck some things up here. I blame not having a full plan when I started painting this guy, but...
Yeah, I'm feeling you.
Well, who has a giant plan who has a plan when they're painting a giant head anyways? Just like, let's just go and see what we can do. Like, it's none of it's terrible, it's just you can tell I got a little bit of happy with the, that turquoise I was trying to highlight with in a couple of spots. It's alright.
Okay, let's put that away.
Gives me a chance to do some quick cheating highlights. You know, when you're like, oh, I'm not going to highlight that because I washed it. Then you're like, oh, I had to touch up part of it, so fuck it. I'm going to highlight part of it because it's here.
Yeah, I was hoping I'd be able to get away with doing some cheap and easy um, dry brushing, and nope.
Full plan. Yeah, you're right, Kathy. I mean, sometimes I like to have at least an idea. I mean, as I was starting to paint the base of MODOK here, I'm like, oh, this is coming out great. I still have no idea how I'm going to paint him. And just went all in on this. It's just the turquoise is getting me because I'm not sure the best way to get it to just to get a good highlight and shade on the turquoise without screwing up everything I did. We'll figure it out. Always do.
Figure it out.
Yeah, that's not bad. Honestly, I think what I did might be enough. Is over there. It might actually be maybe that and a little light turquoise highlights. That might do it, John. That might actually do it.
Do it, buddy. Put on them light turquoise highlights. I was thinking about doing that to my hair.
Some of my coworkers, so T, who's one of my coworkers, they dyed their hair because they're not going to be in office for a minute, so they're allowed to. And they were on a call with my boss, and I'm like, oh, should I? And they dyed their hair green, so I'm like, should I call you Green Tea now? And yeah, it's bad, but you know what? These are the jokes, folks.
Yep.
These jokes that keep us sane.
We like that.
I use jokes, kind of, that jokes term kind of freely. But they thought it was amusing, so there you go. And I want to point out that I'm impressed that I actually remembered to use the proper pronouns for them the entire time.
Well,
It's important.
I think I'm pretty happy with the dark green skin. Now I can do a little bit more with the yellows, I think. Try to push those up a little bit higher. The Minotaur paints are sweet, but they don't necessarily, I don't think, brush terribly well.
I think that actually came out pretty good. Else you touch it up?
So you got to just kind of lean into it a little bit with.
Like, honestly, sometimes when you're painting and you're like, I'm not sure, you do just have to lean into it. Just go all in.
Yeah, I mean, it's a model. And you want to do your best work, but it's a kind of a journey too. I mean,
well, you're testing yourself. Sometimes just like, fuck it, let's just try it.
Yeah. like on the bottom of his jaw, I want his lower jaw to be just a little bit yellower than what it turned out to be.
Is that how he's coming? I'm not sure if you guys can see the little bit of highlights and all I've done.
Yep. No, I can see it, and I can. Yeah, looks great.
Yeah, I think he's getting perilously close too. I mean, I like the feeling of almost completion. I'm almost done the initial release of Marvel models.
Oh, something woke up my dog.
Yeah, Nevendar, you should do some of that Squirm Mammoth you have down there. That's a great, great model. It's one of PP's best. I mean, that model is one of the reasons I was so happy when they were talking about Warcaster. They said they're just going to put models on the base they need to be on to fit. And I'm like, well, that is a great idea, sir. Because scored models, they back into combat for a reason.
Yes, they do.
It's that weird half measure, between display piece and game piece where you're like, it doesn't fit on the base well. I'm like, yeah, but it looks cool, so.
God, you know what needs a bigger base? The goddamn hooch hauler.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's just, it's oof, me.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things I'd like, and I hate to point at GW as doing the right thing, because I'm not sure they are, but man, if they do not just make a new base size at a fucking whim. This model doesn't fit on that base. Fuck it, make a new base. All right, let's go.
Yeah.
What millimeter are we looking at? It's 28.5. 28.5 millimeter bases. Go.
Yeah, you know, the thing is that I think when Privateer did it, I mean, they kind of backed themselves into a wall because they made the model not necessarily matter. It was the base size that everything was measured from.
Oh, God. We got time for a tiny rant. Can I go on a tiny rant, John? Do you mind?
Well, no, you could. This is just as much your show as this is mine, buddy.
All right. Well, I'm going to try and keep this on the positive, but it's going to get negative as fuck real quick.
Okay.
So, put my lights away there for a second. It's getting hot.
Cool.
FFG just put out the new tournament rules for Star Wars Legion.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no. You will be happy. It includes hey, if it's an infantry model, it is exactly this size. They give you a little silhouette.
Okay.
So that it's not like, oh, I can see the tip of Luke's lightsaber that's standing up way above his fucking head. I'm shooting him.
That sounds remarkably familiar.
Yeah. So they did that. I'm like, okay, that's a great idea. So now your Boba Fett can be on his flight stand looking awesome and not taking disadvantage for it.
Yep.
So, of course, people are whining about it.
Oh, of course they are.
There's a guy who's like, my next army is just going to be a bunch of silhouette markers on bases. I'm like, you go fuck yourself, please. Like, literally, to quote Tom Cruise, take a step back and fuck your own face. That's stupid. You're like, how does having a silhouette so people don't model for advantage, become a problem in a game? Spoiler, it never has become a problem in a game. You're the problem in the game.
That is pretty incredible.
And, people and there was some confusion because they're like, they said in the thing, it is exactly like 47 by 42 or whatever it is. I forget the exact, actually, if only I'd posted it on my group for my buddies so I can find out. It is 42 by 27 millimeter silhouette template. Okay, cool. Great to know. Then someone got like, well, it's not the silhouette they put in the little rules packet that I printed out on my, I downloaded and printed out, isn't the same size. It's actually like 43 millimeters. And they're like, well, you should use this. No, it doesn't say that, though. This is the official template. I'm like, motherfucker, it says it in print how big the template is. And guess what? That means that's how big the template is.
Yep.
God, I just want to reach to the computer and just fucking start smacking people for being stupid.
I don't know why people got to be like that.
I
just don't.
Stop. If you're like that, you are the problem with the game. I understand precision, absolutely, but there's no question. There's clearly said there, this is how big it is. It's all good. And yes, it could be 47.04 millimeter. Oh, I'm surprised that went as long as it did. That spray template thing, without anyone noticing. I mean, I guess you take things for granted. And thus die spray putting implements.
Okay, I'm gonna put the eyes on this guy, and then we're going to the media section.
I'm gonna take some pictures of these for Hobby Streak Day. Boy, it's a lot. I'll tell you what, that's what keeps me sane some days, John. Hobby Streak.
You got it.
And TV with the roomie. Hot take, War Machine Mark IV needs to just kill templates. Crimson, I hope that War Machine gets to a Mark IV. I really do. Closing in on 900 days. I am closing in. I want to say, I'm just going to look actually rather than saying. Today is 8:56, so we're getting there. It's, it's good. It keeps you going, It's also good to have some structure sometimes, like John painting every Wednesday now, or formerly Sundays. It keeps him in some structure.
There you go.
It's good to get that structure. Even if you just paint, like back when I was not painting much, when I'm going to paint Saturday or Sundays for at least this long, and I would listen to a podcast or whatever every week, weekly podcast, and just go for as long as the podcast was. Maybe a little longer if I was in the middle of something. Getting that structure helps so much because it keeps you going. There are days it's a slog, but it's more worth it because you get through it. You're like, I'm still going. Yep. Still got the hobby going.
Sorry, I'm painting off camera. I apologize, but this requires a very. It needs a lot of light, and I'm painting eyes, so there. That's why.
I've got so much light. I mean, we talked about lights before. If I really need more light, I'll switch to my painting cam because it's got a light on it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, that's a great idea for a light. I saw it. I'm like, I'm going to get that one and then use that as my painting cam. I don't paint on cam much anymore, but unfortunately, the hobby streak on Facebook Live did not really draw the peoples. So
Oh well.
it was just, I'm like, let's just cut out 10, 15 minutes of work and just keep a hobby streaking.
You gotta know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em. That's right.
Know when to walk away and know
No,
when to run.
that's right.
That's very wise words.
Yes, they are. More people need to understand that the fallacy of sunk cost is indeed a thing.
Yes.
All right.
Sometimes you cut the cord. Like, nope, more money is bad. I've done that with cars. Like, well, we could just put another $600 in this car. I'm like, or we could get another car.
We could not. Yeah. There you go. So it's coming along.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be okay. I'm not super thrilled with it right this second, but what's missing is the little dabs of color and getting the. I've got to still highlight the leathers. I got to come back to this contrast paint and give it a little bit more contrast in there as far as some highlights. The darkness of the skin is kind of a problem. I also need to kind of come back to the feathers a little bit and punch them up a bit more. But
you're at that stage where you're like, oh, I don't know, but you come back and do the stuff, it'll look great.
I'll power through it. I got no. I'm sure I'll get it. All right, folks. Well, that's the end of the painting part of tonight's show, at least for me. And I gotta wash this brush up pretty heavily. I'm gonna switch it on over to the media section. Folks, people wait for this all week long, and they're not wrong for doing so. As you can see, the Velocipaster is very interested in this one too, John.
I don't know why. It's not related to him yet.
No, not yet, but he's there, and if I'm going to spend the time that I spent making that thing, by God, I'm getting some use out of it.
No, it's awesome. I like it. That's legit.
So, folks, if you're interested in learning Photoshop but don't want to pay for Photoshop, may I suggest GIMP, the GNU image manipulation program, graphical. Yeah, so it's fantastic. It's free.
It's been the sort of the name for that kind of thing for years.
Yep, and it gets better and better and better. And the user interface is clunky and compared to the Adobe product, which I will tell you right now, someone saying that an interface is clunky compared to Adobe means it's super clunky. But it is it's a thing
free.
that works. It works. And that Velocipaster thing was done on GIMP, and it wasn't that hard. And I'm getting better at it. So I'm going to put my glasses back on so I can see what the hell's actually going on here. All right, folks, remember that, or just get a GIMP that owns a copy of Photoshop. Work for me. Hey, you know what? If you got a GIMP that you know of that you can take advantage of, I mean, that's honestly what they're looking for. So
You're not wrong. And that got dark real quick.
Yep. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're into the movie section. John, I let it off next time. I feel like you should lead it off this time.
Sure, let me lead it off. Obviously, I am still watching all of the Star Wars.
Now you're into some good shit, though.
Well, not yet.
Well, okay.
So I talked to John earlier this week, and I'm like, I didn't realize there was a Clone Wars animated movie because I didn't. I didn't realize it till I was already a couple episodes in, and I'm like, this is why they didn't explain who Ahsoka is, and I know who Ahsoka is. It doesn't bother me, but I have to watch all of it, so I have to go back and watch that. So I'm only going to give you the first 3 episodes of Clone Wars, which is all I got through. Before realizing that and having to go back. And I just didn't have the time because, well, other things.
Called life, yeah.
Yeah, well, more like other media I'm watching. So that has an expiration date on before I have to pay more money.
Ah, yes. Otherwise known as CBS All Streaming.
Yeah. So I watched 3 episodes and not bad. Even though it's supposed to be early season and not great.
Yeah.
It's not bad at all. It's solid. Obviously aimed a little more at the kids.
Yes.
But the first episode which is Yoda and some clone troopers, is very cool.
Yep.
I think I actually like that better than the next episodes because I do like the way the next episodes are braided together, though. I like that. You could theoretically watch them separately and get an idea what's going on, but together they're better. So I am actually, if this is sort of the idea, if this is the bad part of what's coming forward, this is going to be pretty good.
John, I think what you're going to find as you progress through it, that theme of a 2 or 3 episode arc is very common. It comes back and comes back, and as I sat there and I would get through one of those mini story arcs, I was like, that would have made a pretty solid movie.
Yeah,
and there's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely. And I mean, I've heard, and the reviews online definitely back up that the animated movie is not good. But
no,
I watched the entire Transformers series, and I watched Cats. It can't be that bad.
No, I haven't watched it yet, to be honest with you, so I can't tell you. But I'm positive it's not Cats bad.
I mean, yeah, so like I said, in an effort to watch all of it, I'm going to watch that. So that'll be for next week. Obviously, no rating yet because it's not really fair to give a rating for 3 episodes. I'll give a rating to this, mini rating to the second arc, which is them blowing up the Malevolence that were disabling it, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I give it about 2 shots of crack, and
fair enough.
It had some flaws, but I do immediately like Anakin way better than I did in.
Oh God, yeah.
Than in the Attack of the Clones. Oh. Holy shit!
Oh my!
It's not close.
It's not even close. If the portrayal of Anakin in the live action movies had been as good as the portrayal of Anakin in the Clone Wars, it would have completely revolutionized the. Because really, when you get to it, what's wrong with the first 3 prequels is Anakin.
Yeah,
Anakin is just a poison pill, and I'm sorry.
Yep.
I'm sure that Hayden Christensen is a watcher of the show, and for that I'm sorry, Hayden. But
and I've seen him in other things, and he's not terrible in other things.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't seen him in a lot of things, but he's not terrible in other things. It's sort of like Shia LaBeouf getting a shit reputation for Transformers, and you see him in like Fury, and you're like, he's not a bad actor. This is not his fault.
Yeah, fair enough.
The fault, George Lucas. Sorry, Lucas. I mean, you are a great idea man, but you should have stuck with it.
Yeah. So
looking forward to watch some of that. Yeah, 2 shots for that little mini arc there.
Yep.
It was interesting. We'll get you at least a review on that movie and a couple more episodes for next time. John, what you got first?
First off, one last comment about Clone Wars. Ahsoka Tano is my favorite character in the Star Wars universe.
She's obviously for kids right now, but I've seen enough little snippets that I know she grows out of that, and that's
little snippets. You say, you know what her nickname is, right?
Snips, yes.
Snips, yeah, exactly. Little snippets. That's nice. So I'm here to talk about a new. I believe it's either 8 or 10 episodes long series on Amazon Prime called Tales from the Loop. Tales from the Loop takes place in the book, the art book essentially, that has some story to it, in an alternate history Sweden that is. By the way, I'm showing 11 people watching us right now, which is pretty hot shit for our live broadcast these days. We're getting there. People are taking notice again. And it takes place. I forgot the gentleman's. Nevendar nailed the name of the dude before, and it's a Swedish artist, and essentially it boils down to that it takes place. It's not alternate. Stop feeding conspiracy agenda. Nevendar, you're on fire lately, by the way. And by the way, Nevendar can frickin' cook. If you're not, if you don't belong to Cooking with Game, look for it on Facebook. Cooking with Game. Join this.
I forgot.
What?
Flippity poops.
Oh shit. Well, we'll do a lightning round at the end of the media section. How about that?
Got it.
Okay. So I'll cut to the chase. Alternate universe that takes place around this particle accelerator in Sweden called the Loop. Well, for some fucking reason, they had to move it to the United States, and now it's taking place in Ohio, which, frankly, is enough for me to tell this entire series to go fuck itself, because, meantime, the only car that appears to exist in Ohio are Volvos. Come on. And Peugeots.
I imagine the total quantity of Volvos in Ohio is about a dozen.
Yeah, and they all are apparently working at the Loop. So it deals with it has in. What is interesting about it is that they've taken the characters, and they're giving a different character for each of these stories the spotlight, and it has a lot to do with kind of time travel and weird shit that's happening around this area, and it's I'm only 2 episodes into it. It's really fun. It's not fun. I shouldn't say that. It's dark, but it's interesting and it's engaging. It's not, it's not like hard to look at, dark, but it's just not happy at all.
Yeah, it's dark subject matter. That's the choice du jour right now.
Yeah, I wish it wasn't. We need happy times now. We need more adventure. We need more swashbuckling.
We need more Guardians of the Galaxy. Like that now is the perfect time for a Thor Ragnarok to come out because that is exactly the kind of thing we need.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, we couldn't go see it, but boy, it would be fun if we could. I might just watch it just for the shit of it. Yeah, there you go. Oh yeah, poor Ragnarok. God damn. Anyway, so I'm gonna give the first 2 episodes of Tales from the Loop. I'm gonna give it a solid shot and a half of Kraken. It's certainly got some interesting thing going on. The High Sparrow from Game of Thrones is one of the characters. He's the guy that runs the loop. So, character actor. Don't remember his name. Don't give a fuck.
I haven't seen Game of Thrones, so not even sure what you're talking about.
Yeah, no. High Sparrow was this religious guy that ended up getting Cersei naked and made her walk through the fucking town because she was she was in Dutch.
Shame.
Yep.
Shame.
Spoilers. She takes care of that shit later on.
Yeah, spoilers for a series over for a couple years now. Not really.
Yeah, they blew his shit up. So, anyway, shot and a half for Tales from the Loop. Do you have anything more you want to catch, or do you want to go into Flippity Blues?
Do you want to talk real quick about Picard since I finished it?
Yeah, let's talk about Picard real quick. Your thoughts?
Fuck yes.
Yeah, it's best Star Trek there is.
It definitely it is, and I said this for my boss in another podcast. It's not quite for pure classic Trek heads because it is a little darker than classic Trek. Mm-hmm. Is a tiny bit more adventure-y, but not quite to the J.J. Abrams movies wise.
Yep, it has got it's flawed Starfleet, which is not okay in the classic series.
But it's realistic in that case.
Damn, it is.
None of their flaws are unrealistic. It's not like, oh, they've got this weird, mysterious Section 31 working. No, it's just that they're people and those are their enemies, and they don't fucking want to help them and shit.
So, Nevendar, do you have to watch any other Star Trek to enjoy Picard? It helps to understand the relationship that Picard and Data have.
Yes. Next Gen would be perfect, but if you haven't, you could give it a shot. I mean, Patrick Stewart's fucking amazing.
If you don't have the time to invest in all of Next Generation, because there's a lot of it, you could simply go back and watch Star Trek Nemesis, the movie, which is not the most highly regarded Star Trek, but it fills in the plot points that you need between his relationship with Data that ends up carrying through the Picard series, I think, pretty effectively.
Yeah.
I hate to do not think that you're getting into Star Trek Nemesis with Picard because it is so much better.
So much. I mean, Nemesis is underrated as far as a movie, but underrated means it's 2.5 shots of Kraken.
Mm-hmm.
People rate it lower than that, just to give you an idea. Yeah. It's not terrible. It's not great. It's fine. It exists.
But it'll give you the basis. It'll give you the groundwork.
Picard is great. Like you said last time, lots of interesting female characters who are not just there because they're there because they should be there.
Damn right.
Not put in. Like 7 of 9 should be there, and it's great. It's great to see an evolution of her character. Makes me almost want to go rewatch the end of Voyager to see her again, but no, not going to.
No,
I guess
that noise. Yeah.
She's great.
Rafi's amazing.
Yes.
Rafi is
Alison
such a character.
Hill as Dr. Girardi is great. She plays completely out of her depth like nobody's business.
Mm-hmm. Yep, she's a very interesting character.
In fact, my least likable character is the Romulan swordsman. He's fine, but take or leave him, whatever.
Yeah.
But people have said that Dr. Girardi's not their favorite, and I'm like, I mean, the Romulan swordsman's fine. I don't hate him. He does a fine job, but he's the least useful of them as far as overall.
Yeah.
And I overall like Rick Owens. It's got a couple cliches. It hits pretty hard, but it does a great job. And if you did watch Next Generation, it rewards you, and there's some love there.
If they wanted to have someone play completely out of the depth, couldn't they have just hired Jared Kushner? You're not
Not because
wrong.
he doesn't play that well. He tries to pretend he is. She doesn't even pretend she's in her depth. She is completely out of her depth and knows it and plays it so well.
How the fuck did he pull Ivanka Trump?
I don't know.
Jesus Christ, have on a cracker. I mean, is it just the money that he has? Because unless he's hung like a goddamn elephant, because I don't understand it. She's not an ugly woman. She might be a complete vampire. There's no way to tell because
Yeah, I don't know.
genes. But what the fuck, Jared? Christ. Anyway.
Yeah, anyways, Picard, obviously, 0 shots of Kraken.
Yeah, 0 shots of Kraken. It's
It
best.
is the best Star Trek in a while. And that's actually not as powerful a statement as people think, because Star Trek Beyond was fucking awesome. I love that movie. I actually don't hate the Star Trek, J.J. Abrams, if you will call it, Star Trek trilogy that badly. It's
No.
solid. In fact, the only major misstep they would was making Benedict Cumberbatch Khan. If they made him anyone else, it would have been fine.
Yep. No, that was a mistake. But
That was a misstep, but that movie's still not bad. People say shit, it's not bad, and I think Beyond was very good. Star Trek's in reasonable hands. I've 4 episodes into Discovery. Production quality is amazing on Discovery, and so far it's decent.
yeah,
It's not great Star Trek so far, but it's really good sci-fi.
the first season of Discovery can't hold a candle to Picard, but because it gets towards the end, it just peters out. But it's
Well, also, like I said, I mean, it's good sci-fi, but it's not good Star Trek.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like Deep Space Nine is really, really good sci-fi, but it's kind of mediocre Star Trek.
Yeah, I need to watch the second season of Discovery. I haven't done that yet, so I need to get cracking on that.
Yeah, we're still fucking 20 episodes away because they did 24 episode seasons, which is a mistake.
Yeah.
Anyone out there making a series, 10 episode season, 12 episode, however long you actually need to make the series work. Take out the filler. Now, Picard is tight, but still has time for those personal moments that make it great. Look at that kind of series, that and like The Expanse. There's just long enough to get those personal moments in and to actually make it feel like a world.
If you go back and watch Deep Space Nine, which is one that I really like the series.
Oh, it's a good series.
There are episodes that you go into, and you can tell immediately when a secondary plot comes out, dudes didn't have enough ideas because they had to fill. And it's like, well, this is a toss away, but we watch it anyway because of completion and stuff like that. But
yeah, I mean, the only series that did like actual, TV first run seasons and didn't have a lot of filler is Babylon 5, because every filler episode has some shit that's going to come back and haunt you later.
yeah. Yep. B5.
Yeah.
That 5th season.
Picard,
Goddamn.
0, amazing.
Yep.
And in case anyone's wondering, CBS All Access, 4 shots of Kraken as far as its interface. It's terrible. If it was a beta, I'd be like, this is pretty good. I can't wait to get the real version out. But as an actual, you release this shit? Man, fuck you guys.
All right, kids. It's time. Lightning round, flippity bloops. Bring it.
All right.
I'm
Well, Christopher Arsmar, who I think we know who that is,
Yeah.
will I be able to stay awake long enough to catch the show? Yes.
Apparently, yes. You have succeeded, and congratulations, and thank you for being here, sir.
Is the moon a conspiracy between the Icelandic elves and the Irish gnomes to keep the Swedish elves and gnomes out of the consciousness of Western society? Fnord.
Oh, snap. There's a reference. I'll Fnord also. Take that, Illuminati.
Yeah. Sorry, just first thing in my mind.
Yep.
Why am I out of Kraken? Because you haven't gone out and gotten some. Hopefully you're
For
allowed
fuck-
to. You should.
For fuck's sakes, is that Nevendar asking that?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Nevendar. I'm pretty sure that, well, at least here in the United States in Racine, liquor stores are considered essential. Even if you're on lockdown, you should be able to get your hands on some Kraken.
Yeah, only I think Pennsylvania's the only state I heard of that didn't do that, and that was a mistake.
I am going to go hopefully I'll find some room in my schedule tomorrow. I'm going to run down to Nuta's and get me some of that Cascade Jameson, and get me the. I'm going to try and get one of those, and I'll have it for the next show.
Awesome. And then his final question is: any tips to keep motivated to paint while spending all this extra time at home?
John,
Keep a schedule. Like, make a schedule. Like, I get up, I'm going to watch like an episode of this thing I want to watch, have my breakfast, do, whatever work you have to do if you're working from home, then lunch. Keep your schedule. If you keep your schedule, you will be able to do more. It keeps you in there. I still get up at 5:30 in the morning, even though traffic is fucking light, and I don't actually get out of bed till 6:30, but I still wake up at 5:30 to keep my schedule.
yeah, I mean, same for me. I get up at 5. My kids are not going to school. I used to get up at 5:15 because I wanted to get up with them, and that way they have some motivation to keep on going and get going for school and stuff like that. I still get up at 5:15. Doesn't matter. I have my coffee. Bell comes over at 6:30, between 6:15 and 6:30 for breakfast. Then I'm on that treadmill over there because I want to keep myself in shape, and that's my routine. If you want to be dedicated to something, that's what you got to do. You got to keep that routine.
Yep, keep a routine no matter what you're doing. It'll help.
Yep.
All right, now we're to Declan Lowry. He's got a trio of questions. This is a tricky one, and this really is tricky. Which factions in both War Machine and Hordes is most beginner friendly? Oof. Really, War Machine, I would say probably Signar. They're really big. Signar Arcador, they're really basic. They don't have a lot of that next level synergy that Menoth does, and doesn't have any of the shenanigans that Crix does.
I think I would take a nod at Kador, and the reason I say so is that while they're not, they do have relatively, they have a lower order of operations, at least what I remember of it. Who knows what the fuck they do now? But once upon a time, they were relatively low skill cap for their order of operations, and they have they most of their jacks and stuff like that are pretty durable, so your shit sticks around a little bit longer, so you don't just like, oh fuck, there just went all my stuff off the table, which is always a problem. For Hordes, I think probably
I'd say Scorn for the reasons you just said.
Yeah, but I'm going to lean towards Trolls. Trolls don't do anything real fancy. I don't know.
Fair. Hordes is a tough one because as soon as you get into Hordes, they built, I don't want to say better, they're built more synergistically than War Machine factions from the ground up.
I think you're probably right. I mean, the problem with telling somebody Trolls is that the stone is hard to use well.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty important piece of the equation. I don't know what they seem to be, and they're so fucked up right now that it's hard to believe that they'll ever fix it properly, but Trolls just can't get out of its own way. And when they did what they did to Tough, I mean, I'd rather have seen, rather than what they did to Tough, I would have rather seen them take Tough away from some things. But
yeah.
Anyhow,
second one is, have you checked out the Alien RPG from Free League Publishing? I have not, but I did recommend it to the aforementioned Green Tea, my coworker, because they are a huge Alien fan, and now they want to get a game together.
I think I saw it on a shelf, and it looked like it would be interesting. To be honest, if I want to play Alien RPG, I'm going to play Nemesis.
It's a weird idea for an RPG setting because you never want the PCs to feel invulnerable, and players hate not feeling invulnerable at certain points. Sometimes they want to be like, I am a badass.
Yeah, and I guess I can foresee you do have some source material to pull from. I mean, Aliens is you get to be a badass. Every other Alien movie is you are highly vulnerable and you are about to die.
Yes. Quick, go save the cat.
Yeah. Fuck that cat. I have this argument with Belle all the time. That cat is literally on the side of the aliens. So.
Well, in the first one it was okay. Actually, I think it would have ended pretty much the same way, even if she didn't save the cat.
Yeah.
But Anyways, thoughts and opinions on the Netflix Tiger King series. Haven't seen it, but boy, the memes are heavy.
So, I have an opinion on this.
Oh shit.
I tried to watch one episode of it. I do not begrudge people for liking whatever the fuck they like. I'm going to say that is the initial caveat to what I'm about to say.
I know where this is going.
People in this world have the ability to be reprehensible. They have the ability to be mean, hateful, spiteful, terrible people. I don't find that entertaining. I think it's sad. I watched it and I can't sit there and have every one of my stereotypes and worries about society confirmed by television. It's the same reason I can't watch Honey Boo Boo. It's the same reason I can't watch Hoarders. It's the same reason I can't watch all these things where somehow my entertainment is based upon going, look at me, I'm better than that. And that bar of better is so low. I aspire for more than that, folks. I want to be kind. I want to be giving. I want to be thought kindly of. That requires a much higher bar than fucking Joe goddamn Exotic and his poor caged tigers. And the stupid bitch that is from Tiger Rescue is just as goddamn bad. She's just a different flavor of horrifying. And then there's the fucker in South Carolina that can burn in hell too. It's a whole cast of fuckheads. And I don't need that in my life.
I agree.
Fuck that show and the film it was shot on. And it was on videotape, so fuck that too. Or fucking digital or whatever the hell it was done on. These kids today with their goddamn Instagrams.
That Instagrams, I tell you. We'll get back to the days of Golden Grams.
Fucking
That's where it's at.
TikToks. They ought to put that shit on the TikToks is what they ought to do.
All right. So Stubbs has decided to make this political as fuck.
Oh, there we go. That's my boy.
All right. He said, I recently became acquainted with the Joe Rogan podcast, and now 15 episodes
Fuck
in,
that guy.
yes, I know, 45 hours, I find myself floating more libertarian than ever. I hate the Iron Church as much as ever, but I wonder why Democrats seem hell-bent on losing with Sleepy Joe. I can answer this because I've actually done some research. There is one reason why. Because they think he can win, because he is polling well with black women in the South, which is not a Bernie supporter. They think he can get the votes because of that. Those people who originally thought, oh, Trump's for our people because we're in the South, and then they realized, oh, this is not what we wanted. And they're like, Joe Biden may be the most center of center representatives, but he's closer to what they want.
Yeah.
They don't feel like they're going to get destroyed with him.
Okay, first off, Stubbs, don't fall into the libertarian trap. Fuck libertarians. They don't know what the fuck they want. Just fuck off. You're a liberal, just like I'm a liberal. So just feel okay about it. Secondly, the problem that the Democrats have is that they're confusing poll numbers with election wins. And and that is why Trump is president. Trump did not confuse those two things. Trump knew and does know that the election is decided by about 6 states. And it's Florida, it's Texas, it's Pennsylvania, it's Wisconsin, Michigan. These are the states Ohio that have the ability to go either way. The rest of them, you can poll 1,000% with black women in Alabama, and that motherfucker is going to be red every goddamn election. I hate to break it to you. That's just how it's going to roll. And until Democrats decide to get off their collective fat asses and get their ass to the poll and put their vote in, it isn't going to matter.
Yeah, that's fair.
There are more Democrats than there are Republicans. This is a known thing. And it does not matter. Because if we sit on our fat asses and don't get out to the polls and put our votes in, it doesn't matter. The Republicans do show up at the polls. They get it. They are evil and they get it.
Yeah.
So he won Trump is president because of a combined less than 40,000 votes stretched across 4 states. And he was running against a ham sandwich. We literally could not have put up a worse, more polarizing candidate. Now, the logic behind Sleepy Joe is he's not offensive. He will not galvanize the right to the same degree. So what they're banking on is that they will possibly find enough lazy-ass Republicans that they'll stay home in the key states. And they'll flip it. That's what they're playing the metagame, is what they're doing.
And honestly, Trump's lost a lot of supporters in the past 4 years.
He has. He doesn't pull as hard to the suburban female voter the way that he did in 2016. And it may cost him the election. It may not. The COVID is playing into his hands.
I actually think it's playing against his hands because it's showing people just how fucking incompetent he is.
I hope.
As soon as it came out that he fired his pandemic response team,
So,
I could hear the numbers dropping.
So let's take a look at the latest polls for the old Trumpster here while we got this on, while we're talking about it, because I am a fan of the real clear politics.
Oh yeah.
And when the COVID hit, I was shocked to see what happened to his poll numbers.
They went up.
They went way up. He spiked from, and they have taken a serious nosedive.
Yes.
He went from 44 to 47, and it is now back to 45. It looks like. So he's lost that whole bump, and it has a lot to do with the shit show he's putting on every night at 5 p.m.
Yeah.
He thought that was. He thinks that's helping him.
Well, he's number 1 on Facebook.
He's getting ratings. People are turning in for the freak show.
Oh yeah, it's the same thing as with the Tiger King series.
Yeah.
It's the same idea. So.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that there is potential logic. I think that if Joe can really focus on what used to be the blue firewall in Pennsylvania, Michigan, Ohio, and Wisconsin, I think he's got a chip in a chair. Because without those 4 states, Trump doesn't win last time around. And it doesn't fucking matter what happens in New York. And there's a better than average chance that that Trump will probably carry Florida again. Because Lord have mercy, Florida man. Holy shit balls.
I don't know, with how idiot those people are and not social distancing properly, there may not be enough left to vote for him, and that's terrible.
He gets enough of them 60-plus-year-old people killed down there. He might not have a base any longer. But
remember, I mean, Sleepy Joe pulls those guys too because, he's their demographic.
Yep, he does.
And that's probably what they're looking at. They're still trying to get that last gasp of the old voter before hopefully us young people force them the fuck out.
Yeah. So, I mean, there are states that you can just already... I don't know why they're having the election in those states, like Idaho. Nobody knows why they're voting in Idaho. Nobody knows why they're voting in Alabama. Nobody understands at all why they're voting in Mississippi. But
well, that's a different problem in Mississippi.
Yeah. So anyhow, but that's where we're at. Blibbity blue.
So his second question: do you think AMC has a chance? Because he would surely get my vote.
AMC.
I don't know who AMC is.
American Motor Cars? Yeah, I'll fucking vote for them. They're gone. I mean, they used to be in Kenosha, Wisconsin. They had the Gremlin. They had the Concorde and the AMX. The AMX was a fucking amazing-ass car. I vote for the AMX. That's a dream car for me. Bucket list. Right there with the old Dodge Super Bee.
There you go. Brian Latour, are we currently living in the future that anti-vaxxers want?
Yes.
No. Do you think so?
Oh, I don't know.
I think they're showing that, hey, look, science fucking matters because everyone who's ignoring science, like everyone's like, oh, COVID's a fucking, Democrat plot and fucking gets it and dies.
Yep.
Well, Jesus, either God's really, throwing around that karma, or maybe there's something to the science thing, or maybe both.
Oh, you're probably right. I like your perspective on that one, John. I changed my mind. Yeah, you're right. This is not what they wanted. They wanted basically life to go on without ever anybody getting sick. This is just exactly the wake-up call those fucking idiots needed.
They want to have their COVID parties, get through it, and be okay. And spoiler, you're not going to be okay.
So I've adopted. I am a relatively positive individual, and I have adopted a whole new catchphrase. It's called "Let 'em burn." Just let them burn.
I hate to feel that way. I think that's part of why I'm having such shitty days some days. I don't like feeling that way, but it's warranted.
I can't help them.
Darwinism's a fucking thing, but I don't want people dying.
I can't help them. They're gonna.
I know.
Horse rolls up on the river, jams his head down in the water and drowns himself. Seems to be the horse's problem.
Yeah, fair. All right, so 2 more. He says, why was the Riot Quest teaser video the greatest thing to happen to Lock and Load since the launch of Mark III? I'm not familiar with this video.
I'm not familiar with it either, but I've heard. Okay, so we're pretty good at negativity towards privateer press. It's kind of a.
I haven't heard.
But,
yeah, kind of prerequisite here.
But I've heard good things about the Riot Quests, and before the COVID hit, I was actually going to go and get a demo of it with our local dude, Travis.
Yeah. It definitely. I'm not saying I was going to go and pick it up and buy it because, I was a little put off by how they supported Company of Iron. Hashtag not at all.
Yeah.
But it did look interesting.
I have to tell you, I was that far away from buying some models from Jay because they're cute.
Yeah.
And it'd be fun to paint. There's this like little pig in a tank. I could get off on painting that.
Yeah, there's some cool stuff there, and maybe if I think Bowie got it. If Bowie decided to come over and play it, sure. But he also got Night Vault, and I've got Shadespire. I've got Shadespire and Night Vault, which are the Warhammer Underworlds one. And honestly, for a game that's ostensibly a board game, making it tight and competitive might be better than making it loose and casual, because we play everything else loose and casual. Who knows?
Yeah. So there you go, flippity bloop.
And then last one is, did you buy any hobby-related stuff as part of the Adepticant sales?
I didn't. I belong to the Adepticant site, and I thought it was awesome. What a good idea.
Yeah, absolutely. But I hate to be that guy, but my money's tight enough that I can't, in these times, justify buying extra miniature stuff. I have to be a little careful just in case.
Yeah, absolutely. No,
because if shit goes sideways, I don't necessarily know what I'm going to do.
Yeah. Yep. No, it can be a scary time.
Yeah. And I don't want to be scared, so I'd rather, I can't help the guys I want to help. As soon as it's over and we got to know what we're doing, I'm definitely all in. I supported my local store for as long as I could. I'm trying not to buy too much of anything there, just trying to keep it going.
Yep.
And then when it gets better, we'll go back to supporting everyone. But I mean, I like what they did, but in any other sort of, if we were in a world where you didn't get fired because they don't have work for you because you have to shelter at home, then maybe.
Yep.
And that's the last one.
All right. Well, hey guys.
Times. Let me just double check real quick.
Yeah. I posted it in the painting War Machine and Hordes painting group, and I posted it on our group.
Nothing there. War Machine and Hordes painting. Yeah, I got them all from all of those. I'm just triple checking now. I checked earlier. I saw it when you put them out there, so I figured I would
I appreciate
double
that.
check.
I appreciate that.
Oh, there we go. Tracy Carter, if you were someone on Tiger King, who would you be? Oh my gosh, no one. I would be no one.
I would be the guy flipping the switch on, making that show go away.
Yeah, no doubt. I don't think either of us are really going to be reviewing that one. I have enough things waiting. I mean, hell, I still got 44 episodes of Discovery to watch, and then I still have The Expanse season, most recent.
By the way, both of those are better.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much stuff I got to watch. I can't.
Spoiled for choice.
I can't spend it on stuff like that. I don't want to see, like John said, I don't want to see people be taken down to make me feel better. I feel better when people are taken up.
Yep. I don't want to be feeling good because I'm better than literally filth. That doesn't make me feel better.
We're not saying that is you're bad for watching it. I mean, if you enjoy it, it's entertainment is one of the most subjective things next to art, because it is sort of a form of art. It's totally subjective, and that's fine.
Yep. And Scotty Potty, I get it. And if you enjoy it, then that doesn't make you a bad person. It's just
you do you.
That's not where my head's at, and that's fine. And my head is not where a lot of people's heads are. So that's fine. Anyway, so that's a show, and we did it.
Yeah, we did a long show for you guys.
Yeah, it's a little fucking bonus action there. We're going to go ahead and bring up the music because that's what we do on this show.
Oh, yeah, I gotta pee.
You know, we're not living until fucking YouTube has dropped a copyright claim on our show. Because
For the music.
yeah, of course. I don't give a
Of
fuck.
course.
It's like, am I monetizing? No.
Let me tell you how much money collectively between the two podcasts I've been involved with we've gotten from YouTube. Hold on. Nothing. Carry the nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Pretty much nothing. Well, on behalf of nothing and YouTube, which we're not even like broadcasting on anymore because fuck that thing. I'm Menoth John. That is, of course, the co-host with the most, Mr. John Spencer. We're gonna see here, same time, same bat channel on next week here on Painting with Menoth John. Goodbye, everybody.
Good night.
Tiger King. Fuck that guy.
Wow. The memes. They flow.
I want Chester Cheetah to just fucking skull fuck him.
I'm interested in your newsletter.